This is Torin Talks recap of Game of Thrones Season 5, Episode number 4. In this episode, the parts that I really liked were the uprising of the Faith Militant. You see them go in Littlefinger's brothel, trash the place. They also apprehend some people who are, doing shady business. Cersei has given them the power to be reinstated. If you don't know about the Faith Militant, I will link that video here. And she has basically given the religion in Westeros a military arm to kind of change things around. Because she is backed into a corner, and this was the only way she knew how to come out swinging is to try to get rid of the Tyrell. She sends Mace Tyrell across the sea to try to go treat with the Iron Bank, and then she sends him with Meryn Trent, and I kind of think she's trying to bump off Mace, so I wouldn't trust that guy. Then she tells him that she knows someone who's, super morally depraved, but they are protected by their money and their wealth. And immediately after, the next scene is the Faith Militant going to arrest Loras Tyrell. And Cersei definitely had a hand in the Faith Militant apprehending Loras, and Marjorie is not happy about that at all, and she tells Tommen, you need to do something about this, but he's just a kid. Again, he tries to stand up to them, sort of, and it doesn't really work because no one's scared of Tommen, and he's just an ineffectual leader. And Cersei thinks, she's kind of pumped about this because, she's getting rid of all the Tyrells, so when she has her crosshairs on Marjorie, so she's just getting rid of anyone who's going to get in her way of, taking Marjorie out. Like, her dad could get in the way, Loras will defend her. So if she gets rid of them, then Marjorie will kind of be left unprotected in the capital against Cersei. Also over in Dorne, you have Ellaria meeting with the Sand Snakes, and we finally get to see Dorne on the map. I'm super happy, it looks cool. The snake wrapping around the pole. The Sand Snakes and Ellaria are plotting their quest for revenge for Oberyn, and she tells them they need to choose her way, which is war, or, their Uncle Doran's way, which is peace and not doing anything. And they unanimously decide to say war. I really like the Sand Snakes in the book, and I really want to like them in the show. I'm iffy about it, but it's the first time we're seeing them, so I'm not gonna totally just discount it yet, but I'm just excited to see what they're gonna have them doing in this season.
I made my choice long ago.
I love the interaction between Bronn and Jaime when they're going to Dorne, and they have a little conversation on the boat, and he, you can send other people to do this. Why do you need to do this? Because I think Jaime feels guilt. He feels guilty about everything that's happened with his children, with Tyrion, with his father. And he is just trying to do right for once by the Lannisters. He's trying to do right by the Lannister family name. And it might be misguided a little bit in my opinion, but he's doing what he thinks is right, which is still on par for Jaime. Jaime does what he feels like he should do. Consequences, so what? I'll deal with it later. But, so it's kind of out of character, but at the same time, it's not. And I love the scene also when he's on the boat and, he sees the isle and he asks the guy, is that Esterlund? And the guy's like, no, that's Tarth, the Sapphire Isle. He's thinking about Brienne. He's totally... I ship Jaime and Brienne so hard. I don't even care if they ever get together. I feel like they already are, so that's all that matters. But that was a really cute moment that... he's still it was just oh, he's going another mission, and Tarth, Brienne. So I like that. And what Bronn was saying about Dornishmen, they only like to do two things, and they're probably gonna be doing a lot of fighting, but they're probably not gonna be doing a lot of the other things. And they get there, and Jaime, they get into a scuffle with these Dornishmen, and Jaime kind of uses his hand as a, like, in a not intentionally defensive maneuver, but it's kind of cool to see him try to adapt to his new fighting style, which has to be more ragged and rough than the finesse that he's used to, dealing with in swordplay. Then we head to Meereen, and Barristan is telling Daenerys about Rhaegar Targaryen, which is her older brother, who is older than Viserys. And she didn't know him because she was just a baby when Robert Rebellion went down and he got killed. So Barristan was telling her, like, he was actually a good Targaryen. Like, he wasn't like a power crazy person. Like, he loved to sing. He didn't love war. He didn't love killing. Like, he loved to sing, and he had other pursuits. Like, his whole goal wasn't conquering fire and blood. That wasn't who he was as a person. I like that Daenerys is getting a different perspective other than Viserys' one track mind point of view on his family, which is totally inaccurate to who they really were as people. So she can kind of get the real story of who the Targaryens were, especially her father and brother that she didn't get a chance to really meet. She goes to meet with his daughter and some other people because they are still harping on getting these fighting pits open. Meanwhile, the sons of the Harpy are in the streets of Meereen attacking the Unsullied. They are attacking them left and right, and Grey Worm's down there with a garrison, and they just get ambushed after they get led into a trap, and the Unsullied are pretty much just fighting for their lives at this point. Barristan, who's down in the streets, kind of hears the commotion. He comes in, and the sons of the Harpy, they're all fighting. Barristan puts up a good fight, but he gets some wounds. And right before the guy can deliver, I guess, that final, just killing blow, Grey Worm comes and kills that guy. But they're both severely injured. So I don't know if they're going to make it to the next episode or their injuries get serious, but they definitely took hardcore beating there. Sansa is up in Winterfell, and she's in the crypt, and Littlefinger comes to talk to her, and he tells her he has to go to King's Landing because he is summoned by Cersei. And he tells her she needs to be strong, and she needs to, basically manipulate. She's scared of Bruce, but Littlefinger tells her to manipulate Ramsay to get him on her side. And I don't know if he means like the Cersei Lannister method of manipulation between the legs, but I think it's alluded to that fact. Like, you need to put the whammy on the boy so he can do it. I don't know if Sansa is ready for that kind of deal yet, but maybe Sansa's stronger than I think Sansa's stronger than she even thought. Who would have thought Sansa Stark would have been the last Stark standing? So, well, she's not really, but I mean, as far as they're concerned, I'm interested to see what happens with Sansa and
We also go up to Castle Black, and we see Melisandre trying to put the moves on Jon Snow.
So I don't know if Melisandre is trying to get the Shadow Baby out of Jon, or if she's just, trying to get some power, but she is definitely trying to get on Jon, and Jon's kind of like, no, like, kind of hot, but no, like, I can't. I'm in love with somebody. And she tells him, that girl's dead. Like, dead people don't need lovers. And he's like, still, like, I love her. No, I'm not. And as she walks out the door, she says, nothing, Jon Snow. And Jon's just like, I was even like, well, I mean, Melisandre is very powerful. And being, like I said, with the dragons back in the world, being at the wall, I feel like her powers are steadily growing. So it's not really surprising that she knew that phrase. And I also love the part with Shireen and Stannis. Like, I'm not a Stannis Baratheon fan. You know, like, Stannis makes me laugh because he's so straight-laced, so comical. Like, God, Stannis, get a grip, man. Such a stickler, And, you know, but this moment really humanized him for me and really made me see Stannis in a different way. Because I love the fact that he, you know, when Shireen came out with Grayscale as a baby and everybody was like, you know, just sent her off to the ruins of Valyria, like, die with the Stoneman. And he's like, no, like, my daughter, like, you know.
Before the sickness spread through the castle, I told them all to go to hell. I called in every maester on this side of the world, every healer, every apothecary. They stopped the disease and saved your life. Because you did not belong across the world with a bloody stone man. You are the Princess Shireen of House Baratheon. And you are my daughter.
It would have been easier for him, I'm sure, and, you know, to be Stannis Baratheon from a noble family and your daughter has this weird, you know, thing, weird disease. It shows how Stannis kind of doesn't care. Like, all that doesn't matter. You're like, you know, like, you're my daughter, I love you, I'm not just gonna throw you away in trash. And I think Shireen really needs to hear that because her mother is just, I think it's because her mother's not very attractive, so she feels like everything is based on looks, and or that she feels like Shireen's embarrassment or disappointment. When the only thing she has is like Grayscale, but she's not stupid or anything. Like, she could be way worse than, you know, just put her hair like that. And you won't even see it. So yeah, just give her the see. I have Grayscale. So yeah, she should just lay off Shireen. She's cool. She's fun. Like, she's fun. But I love that Stannis kind of had that little heart-to-heart moment with his daughter. The most important thing that happened in this episode was one of the biggest theories was all but confirmed, and that is the theory of Rhaegar Targaryen and Lyanna Stark. Well, twice in one episode, Rhaegar Targaryen's name is mentioned. And it is first mentioned when Sansa and Littlefinger are in the crypt, and they mention Rhaegar. Also, Daenerys and Barristan are talking about Rhaegar. They're talking about Rhaegar a lot for one episode, and to me, that is definitely symbolic. Also, when Littlefinger and Sansa are having their conversation, they are having it in front of the crypt of Lyanna Stark, and she goes into, you know, they're talking about it, and he tells her about what happened at the tournament of Harrenhal when Rhaegar Targaryen won the tournament and crowned Lyanna Stark instead of his own wife, the Queen of Love and Beauty, which is super shocking for Westeros, and it was just like the moment that kind of changed everything. She says that, you know, Rhaegar chose Lyanna and then he raped her and kidnapped her. And the look on Littlefinger's face when she says that is kind of like, yeah, you think that's what happened? No. So he knows, I don't know if he knows more than he's telling, because he just says how many people had to die because he chose your aunt. And there's just something telling about the look that he gives Sansa in that moment. Daenerys and Barristan have their conversation, and it kind of supports a similar theory because they're saying he was a good guy. He didn't even like killing people. He wanted to sing. So why would a singer kidnap a woman? Why would he do that? It's kind of out of character. So
But a singer sweeping a woman off her feet with some epic love song, that kind of sounds more in line with what a singer or someone who's very soulful or artistic would do, rather than like a brute. Finally, at the wall, you have Jon Snow in the practice yard, Stannis and his wife looking over at them, and she makes a reference to Jon being the son of some tavern slut, and Stannis Baratheon says that wasn't Ned Stark's way. So that, to me, all but implies that he knows, or he has a suspicion that Jon is not Jon Snow, like the bastard of Winterfell. He has, to me, Stannis is more smart than people kind of give him credit for. And he definitely sees, like, that's Ned, like, Ned's super honor bound. Like, Ned's honor is almost equivalent to Stannis's.
The Starks have manned the wall for thousands of years. And you are a Stark. You might not have my name, but you have my blood.
For him to kind of just flat out be like, yeah, no. Ned Stark wouldn't do that. It's basically all the confirmation to me and to a lot of people that I've seen so far, like on the interwebs, because this video is late, that it just basically proves that Jon Snow is the son of Rhaegar Targaryen and Lyanna Stark. I don't know why people fight this theory so much, but it makes total sense. And then I know there's people that are going to say that this can't be true because they weren't married. He's a Targaryen. The line of House Targaryen was started because Aegon and his 2 sister wives. 2. He had 2 wives. So there is already a precedent in the Targaryen family for polygamy. And Rhaegar was definitely obsessed with prophecy, and he would totally take another wife, especially if he was in love with this woman and he didn't want to just defile her, you know. And also, he had a wife, so, and it's not that he didn't like her, he just wasn't in love with her. So it is totally plausible that they could have gotten married in the kind of year they were away together. So there's a precedent for a Targaryen being married to more than one woman. You have everyone talking about Rhaegar. You have everyone, conversations about Rhaegar and Lyanna, and then you smash cut to Jon Snow. Yeah, I feel like that's just the biggest shocker to me of the whole entire episode, is that they basically confirmed, like, yo, he is not a bastard, period. Like, it to me is confirmed, and I was just super shocked that this was all coming out, like, oh, we're doing this now, okay. So that was probably my favorite part of the entire episode, getting that theory all but confirmed, like spelled out. So yeah, thanks for watching this video, and I hope to see you in my next one, and have a good one.